Я есть то, что я есть. В восторге от пристойной музыки. И чтобы быть здесь с каждым из вас. Я есть адамус из суверенного владения. Давайте сделаем хороший глубокий вдох, и прежде чем мы сделаем еще что-то на этой встрече, давайте приглушим свет в аудитории и просто почувствуем энергию. Просто почувствуем энергию в зале, почувствуем сами красоту этой встречи. Энергии для всех и каждого из вас, слушающих онлайн. Просто уделим мгновение. Сделайте хороший глубокий вдох и вчувствуйтесь во все слои энергии, во все, что происходит в зале. Теперь пара важных вещей, перед тем, как мы приступим к этой встрече. Во-первых, в ближайшие 90 минут будет немного отвлечения, развлечения, возможно, несколько слов, которые вдохновят. Но более всего, это встреча для каждого из вас. Это время, которое вы уделяете сами себе, то время, когда вы просто делаете глубокий вдох, расслабляетесь в своем просветлении. Ах! Там, в повседневном мире, так сложно. Так много шума и хаоса. Столько всего проходит через ваш разум. Поэтому вы пришли сюда. И реальная причина этой встречи не в том, чтобы услышать что-то глубокое. Сегодня вы не услышите вообще чего бы то ни было нового. Ха! Да. О, я знаю, что многие из вас подсели на новое. Да. Вы приходите сюда, спрашивая, что нового, что свежего, что дальше. Нет, нет ничего нового. Все было сказано раньше. Если не мной или Тобиасом, то кем-то еще. Нет ничего нового, потому что вы уже там. Вы уже там. Просто проживаете на опыте, каково было туда добраться. Я получаю такие пинки от тех, кто подсел на новое. Иногда я хочу им сказать, в первую очередь, зачем вам новое, если вы даже не интегрировали или не поняли старого. Ах! Но они измеряют этот духовный контент, то, что они слышат от духовных учителей, основываясь на это новое. Нет, ничто из этого не ново. Ничто из этого. Удивительная вещь в том, что все уже здесь. Я могу смотреть на вас и видеть неограниченного человека, но человека, который уже просветлен, человека, который больше не стремится и не ищет, человека, которому не нужно что-то новое каждый день, чтобы оставаться на духовном пути. Я вижу человека, который уже там. И, возможно, только возможно, в течение следующих 90 минут в этом безопасном пространстве, в этой прекрасной энергии, вы сможете осознать это для себя. Вы сможете почувствовать это для себя. Говоря об ощущениях, о зале, он наполнен чувствами. Это не просто красивые и сладкие чувства, как некоторые из вас, возможно, хотели бы. Здесь много хаоса. Конечно, это ретроградный Меркурий. Ха! Не то, чтобы он менял ситуацию. Это просто хороший повод для хаоса. Дополнительного хаоса. Да. Хотя он имеет некоторое влияние. Это Йом-Кипур, день искупления. Вы смешиваете это с ретроградным Меркурием, и получается очень мощный коктейль. Какие чувства в зале? Много путаницы, много печали, много какого черта. Этого в комнате много. Что это такое? Когда я пойму смысл. Когда закончится это путешествие? И много счастья. В зале много радости, Просто радости быть здесь, вместе с этой удивительной группой. Я здесь, не там. Люди со своими телевизорами. Да, да, сюда. В зале много радости и счастья. Много надежды. Ах, много этой кхаризмы. Ах, ча-ча. Много кхаризмы. Вы знаете, самое смешное в вашей кхаризме, она здесь есть. Я просто хочу, чтобы вы ее выпустили. Иногда вы это делаете, но зачастую она подавлена. Это то. Огромное количество кхаризмы. Видите, как кхаризма работает? Вот так. Огромное количество кхаризмы в зале. Я утверждаю.
Up here, not there. That's not me. That is not me. Gene, no more on that screen. No. Sorry. You move your chairs in a bit closer, or come over here, sit over there, but no.
Вы понимаете, насколько сбивает с толку быть здесь с каждым из вас? И даже те, прямо перед кем я стою, смотрят на меня там. Я думаю, что это очень показательно для природы нереальности. Реальность стоит прямо здесь. Реальность прямо перед вами. Ваша реальность. Что вы делаете? Вы смотрите на экран телевизора, как загипнотизированные. Спасибо. Пожалуйста, не стесняйтесь двигаться ближе, чтобы увидеть все шоу и не смотреть на этот чертов экран. Ладно. Ах, видите, как это немного собирает энергии вместе. Давайте вернемся к экрану на мгновение. Просто для теста. Хорошо. Понимаете, вы не можете остановиться. Вы смотрите туда. Вы смотрите. Теперь выключите этот экран. Хорошо. Гораздо лучше. Итак, мои дорогие друзья, вот сюда, чувство в зале. Вот вам мастерский урок. В зале нет единственного чувства. Забудьте об этом. Вы пытаетесь найти единственное чувство. Вы пытаетесь превратить ваше чувство в это. Я хочу думать в покое, счастье и радости. Нет. Это есть. Но есть еще и много дерьма. Есть много всего. Мастер понимает, что все происходит в одно время. Много слоев и уровней, не пытаясь отфильтровать мусор. А мусор тут есть не только ваш, но и идущий от этой планеты, идущий из других мест, идущий отовсюду. Много мусора. Мастер не бежит от него. Мастер не отвлекается от него в нереальность. Мастер понимает, что это все, что происходит, это такое освобождение и облегчение. Когда вы осознаете, что мы не должны просто заполнять этот зал волшебной пыльцой. Это может быть и волшебная пыльца. Это могут быть отходы скотного двора. Это может быть нехватка. Это может быть ничто. Это может быть все. И это все здесь. И ничего этого нет. Вот красота того, каково быть мастером. Вы больше не ограничены одним или двумя чувствами или мыслями. Часть вашей проблемы и причины, по которой вы склонны бежать от собственных мыслей, в том, что когда мысли неестественно линейны, и вы сосредотачиваетесь на одной или двух мыслях, таких как «я сегодня несчастен», и вы пытаетесь убежать от них, вы пытаетесь изменить их мысленно, что не работает. Вы теперь знаете, что это не работает. Что на самом деле происходит, это то, что вы блокируете все остальное происходящее. В этом зале есть много всего. В этом зале ваше осознанное «я». Но вы не осознаете этого, потому что мысли и чувства были очень узкими. В этом зале вы, только начинающие это грандиозное путешествие на Земле в физическом воплощении. Я имею в виду, как и миллионы лет назад. Это здесь, в этом зале, ваша великая кхаризма, а также ваше тупое, скучное «я». Это все. Извините, это все. Здесь кто-то один засмеялся. Это все здесь. И истинный мастер никогда не застревает в каком-то одном конкретном чувстве, мысли, эмоции или опыте. Это происходит постоянно. Истинный мастер может испытывать это все. Вот небольшая аналогия. Обычный человек, как великий лес, миллионы, а может и миллиарды деревьев. Красивые деревья всех размеров, форм и возрастов. Замечательный лес. Но что происходит? Человек будет сосредотачиваться на одном дереве, и это высосет все соки из этого дерева. Он будет пытаться сделать это дерево больше, сильнее и красивее. Сфокусируется на здоровье этого единственного дерева. Все будет относиться к этому одному дереву. Это великолепие человеческого путешествия, умение по-настоящему быть в таком ограниченном сознании.
It will become all about the one tree. It's the brilliance of the human journey, the ability to really be in such limited consciousness.
Дело в том, что есть много деревьев, и не только деревьев, но и птиц и цветов на траве, и вода, и небо, и все остальное. Это все есть. Это все есть. Поэтому я говорю, что вы не услышите сегодня ничего нового. Вы слышали это раньше, но вы не обязательно хотите в это верить. Это все здесь. И кое-что, что мы сделаем, и вопрос, который прямо сейчас приходит вам в голову, это тогда, как мне туда попасть. Ах, мы обсудим это сегодня, и тогда мы увидим, действительно ли вы хотите это сделать, действительно ли вы к этому готовы. Мастер чувствует множество вещей и не пытается фильтровать их. Это то, что пытаются делать бессознательные. Они всегда пытаются все фильтровать и стараются находиться в определенном фокусе. Вовсе нет. Это все здесь. Все. И в этом красота. Затем вы перепрыгиваете от одного чувства, одного чувственного восприятия к другому, не боясь, что вы застрянете в нем, не боясь, что вы упустите что-то. Вы прыгаете от одного к другому, хорошее, плохое. Все это, потому что это больше к вам не цепляется, так что позвольте себе чувствовать плохое, печаль, так же, как и радость, добро, и все, что между ними, будучи в этом мастерском состоянии. Некоторые из вас сейчас слишком много думают, но это нормально. Мастерское состояние так свободно, потому что вы можете испытать все. И не просто линейно, не что-то одно за один раз. Представьте себе на минуту, что вы в состоянии испытать все это одновременно. Ах! Вот удивительная вещь. Немного сложно представить разуму, но это все одновременно. Вы просто испытываете все сразу. Это удивительно. Итак, сегодняшний вопрос. В каком я настроении? В каком я настроении? Я сказал ранее, колдырь, это отчасти зависит от вас. В каком я настроении? Ну, я немного обозлен. И вы скажете, как может вознесенный мастер быть в настроении? Может быть, за. Безусловно, потому что я в этом не застрял. Я не особенно страдаю от этого. Я просто это испытываю. Мне нравится испытывать некоторое раздражение. Это забавно. Представьте себе позволение себе испытывать гнев. Как давно вы не испытывали хороший гнев? Но вы скажете, о, люди Нью-Эйджа не могут этого делать. Да, вы можете. Это удивительно. Самое смешное, что вы позволяете себе испытать гнев как мастер. И вы в нем не застреваете. Вы просто проживаете. Хорошо проводите время, позволяя этому гневу выйти. Вы говорите, а что, если я кого-то задену? Ну, они, наверное, это заслужили и. Я почти серьезно. Да, это их плохая карма. Оказаться в этот день на вашем пути. Они этого искали. Знаете, иногда, когда вы кому-то посылаете всю эту психическую энергию гнева в лицо, вы очень любезны с ними, но затем вы говорите, «Ах ты, сука!» Это действует сильнее, чем просто раздражение в лицо. Но в любом случае, быть злым – это нормально. Быть немного раздраженным – это нормально. Вознесенный мастер может это делать. Да, у нас есть свои дни, потому что в тот же момент, когда я немного раздражен, я объясню через мгновение, я на самом деле горжусь вами. Ребята, да, несколько, где бурные аплодисменты. В то же время, меня это не волнует. Это не имеет значения. В то же время, я соревнуюсь с некоторыми другими вознесенными мастерами. Правда. Это правда. Ох, я расскажу вам через мгновение. Но удивительно то, что это не единственно. Это не значит, что я просто скучающий вознесенный мастер. Когда мы ранее говорили о просветлении, некоторые из вас исходили из психического восприятия. О, это звучит так скучно. Ничего не делать. А нет, можно делать все. Злиться и быть счастливым одновременно. Не придавать значения и конкурировать с другими вознесенными мастерами одновременно. Это прекрасно. Это удивительно. Это насыщенно, быть в состоянии делать все это. Почему я зол? Потому что вы так хотите. Никто не покупается. Нет, на самом деле. Действительно. Хорошо. Помните, недавно, когда вы сказали, так или иначе, «Адамус, мне нужен хороший пинок под зад». Адамус, я правда устал от себя да. Я тоже минус, и я очень хочу каких-нибудь изменений. Мне надоело просто повторять все это снова и снова. Помните это? Вы сказали это тем или иным способом. Да, да. Поэтому я здесь, как ответ на это. Я здесь, чтобы вас провоцировать, злить, заставлять вас раздражаться, заставлять вас немного выбираться из разума. Почему? Ну, потому что, опять же, как я сказал, ради наших 90 священных минут вместе, неважно, что происходит здесь или там, в течение следующих 90 минут нужно просто опустить защиту и позволить прийти этому естественному просветлению. Так и есть. Поэтому я и говорю, что вы действительно не услышите что-то новое, или важное, или, может быть, даже смешное, там, куда мы сегодня пойдем. Так что да, немного раздражен. Раздражен, потому что у вас есть все инструменты. Все было сказано, если не мной, то кем-то еще у вас есть все, а вы продолжаете приходить, думая, что услышите что-то новое. Так что я немного раздражен, что у меня отняли много времени. Эх, я вложил в вас душу. Ребята, я раскрыл вам тайну тайн. Я был с вами по всему миру. И что вы делаете? Вы пришли сюда. Вы едите, вы смотрите телевизор и вы говорите, что нового. Что у него нового в этом месяце? И, конечно, всегда есть кто-то в ваших социальных сетях. Кто? Слава Богу, у нас этого нет в клубе. Да, один смех. В клубе вознесенных мастеров. Я люблю ее. Кто-то неизменно приходит в социальных сетях и говорит, «Адамус сегодня не сказал ничего нового». Я все это слышал раньше. Тогда как же получилось, что ты такой придурок? Как получилось, что твоя жизнь настолько жалкая, раз ты слышал это раньше? То есть, другими словами, у вас есть Адамус. Разве она не милая? Другими словами, классная шляпа. Да, другими словами, где мы остановились? Раздражен. Да, да, один раздраженный вознесенный мастер.
Yeah, look at it from my view. It's the same stuff today. We get together, and it's the same stuff. So I'm a little pissed off. Just a little bit, but having a lot of fun doing it. Look, I'm pissed off, but yet I get to write books. I have a new one coming up pretty soon. I'm competing with Caldra, actually. He's supposed to be writing a book called Active Consciousness. It's over 1 year late at the publisher. Huh. In the meantime, I'm writing a book at lightning speed called Memoirs of a Master. I'm going to have mine done by the end of this year. Caldra, Linda, where's yours?
The end of October.
So I get to have this fun. I get to kind of come back. I don't have to go through the whole birth cycle. I just take over Caldra, or sometimes come into some of you, and write books and travel around the world and tell bad jokes and distract you for a little bit. Just distract you so you can take a deep breath and let the real you, the realized you, come in. That's the real you, the realized you. Mood, so I'm happy, I'm joyful. I'm happy and joyful because there are a little over 9,600 ascended masters in the other realms. Not so many, not so many. When you consider all the billions of incarnations that have ever taken place on this planet, when you consider all the entities in all the other realms, there's only 9,600. It's actually a very small and very elite group of beings. Now, this is a fact. It's an Adamus fact, but it is a fact. Of the 9,600 plus, I have taught or guided or been the master for 852 of these. Wow. Wow. I've impressed myself. That is a wow, kind of. It's actually earned me my own seat at the Ascended Masters Club with my name in gold, of course, at the Ascended Masters Club. And when I come into the room, everything stops. It gets very quiet. And there's a big wow. Wow. And I look over at Buddha. And now Buddha didn't used to have a sense of humor, but now he does. And this is a fact. I'm not just making this up. But Buddha, he's done a good job. He's done a good job. But I had my problems with 100,000 years in a crystal, and I'm going to do well next week. Actually, I'm going to be blowing up a few crystals. And I got out of my crystal, and it wasn't a big deal. Buddha is locked in a statue. A little fat guy sitting there on millions and millions and millions of altars and bookshelves all around the world. And how many ascended enlightened beings has Buddha got to his side? Not so many. Why? Because they're all worshiping Buddha and statues. I won't allow that. That's why you don't see a little figure of Saint Germain. Although now that I think of it, it's not so bad. A little guy trapped in a crystal. Press the button and he breaks out. Truly, I won't allow that. I'll annoy you before I ever let you worship me. I will throw you out of here before that ever happens. And Buddha never intended it to happen, but it just kind of did. So he has well, about 100 enlightened beings to his credit that he taught. But they're stuck. They're stuck in Buddhaville, if you know what I mean. That's somewhere between awakening and mastery. And they're stuck in that. Not much he can do about it. Notice, nobody really channels Buddha. Ever wonder why? Yeah, you never hear of the Buddha channeler. No. Well, think about it. Feel into it. I'll give you the answer later. Then there is Kuan Yin. Beautiful, gorgeous lady. Been out on a few dates together into... and we did. Back when we were in human form. But Kuan Yin is here to teach compassion for those who need to hear about it, and there are many who do. Compassion for themselves, compassion for others, allowing them to really accept things as they are. That's the true definition of compassion. It's not about feeling bad for someone. That's really screwed. Because you're conveying a psychic energy. Oh, I feel bad for the poor beggar on the street. That's not compassion. That's your own set of limitations being inflicted or projected on them. So she taught a lot about compassion, but generally these beings that are in this consciousness really not ready for enlightenment. They're on their way, but they're not ready. So there's not a lot who she has taught who are now ascended beings. Then there's Jesus. Whew. Not going to get too far with that one. He doesn't tend to elicit a lot who are really interested in enlightenment. They're interested in suffering. They're interested in having someone die for their sins. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's the consciousness that they're in. Now, there's Jesus, the one that is worshipped, the one that's put up on the cross, the one who is going to save everyone. But then there's Yeshua. There's Yeshua. That's the true being that lived some 2,000 years ago. It was what you would call the collective consciousness. It was the combination of a lot of beings putting their energy into what you could say a standard. A Yeshua who was truly a master. Yeshua who got angry. Yeshua who had sex. Yeshua who challenged why he was here. Therefore, in a way, you challenging why you were here. Yeshua that came to plant the Christ seed consciousness, which means the crystal or Christos consciousness on this planet. There's not too many that actually remember Yeshua, but for most of you, he was your teacher also, as he was mine. He was your teacher. So you could say that there's quite a few in the Ascended Masters Club that had the true Yeshua as their guide, as their teacher, as their master. For many of you, it's been both. Yeshua, several thousand years ago. Me, now. Am I comparing myself to Yeshua? Sure. Why not? Oh, is it some sacred territory? Because, in fact, you and me are and were Yeshua. We were that Christ seed consciousness that came to this planet. Now you're coming back to realize the very Christ consciousness that you implanted. You're coming back to realize what you have always been. What you have always been. It's nothing new. It's who you truly are. So, my dear friends, I do have to my credit 852 who have been my students, who I have taught in the past. Now I'm teaching a very large group. You could say that actually prior to coming to Shambro, I worked with, guided, whatever you want to call it, approximately 52,000 beings in the mystery schools in the past. That's actually not a lot. It's not a lot. Of those, 852 up in the Ascended Masters realms. Ascended Master just means you can do anything you want, whenever you want, however you want. It's kind of cool. Yeah, baby. But that's not new. You already knew that. So, my dear friends, now I'm working with a relatively large group because we can do things like talk over our internet. We can gather, we can travel around the world in ways we can never do it. So, that 852, where does it go? How soon does it go? This is the talk at the Ascended Masters Club, where I do have my own chair, as I mentioned, with a gold name. So the question comes back to you, to each and every one of you. This thing of enlightenment, realization. There's nothing new. It's about realization. It's about allowing, not about trying to figure something out anymore. You're going to get in trouble doing that. It's allowing yourself to experience and to feel all of it, not just that one tree in the forest anymore, but everything that you are. I know that you have a heartfelt desire to do that, but I also know you have an intense fear. I know that you have intense concerns about that. I'm not here to actually guide you to enlightenment. There's really nothing that I can actually teach you, not at all. Ultimately, the enlightenment is about you allowing yourself to realize it. It doesn't come from here. You can't get there from here and saying, I'm going to realize, I'm going to realize, I'm going to realize. It doesn't work. The realization comes with allowing, comes with relaxing. Yes, I heard from Caldra earlier this week. See, I've been using this phrase, relax into your enlightenment. Stop taking it so seriously. Stop working at it. Relax into it. Relax. Just feel that word. Relax. I don't have to work at it. Don't have to think about it. I just relax into it. So much so that this word was actually used by dear Caldra's favorite NFL quarterback, who, having a relatively bad season so far, felt into the projections that I was sending. I said, relax, Aaron Rodgers, relax, relax. And then he told the whole world and the fans, and the last few games have been stellar. So relax, relax into your enlightenment. So now it's time for a little discussion. Linda with the microphone, if you would, please. I'm going to ask a question. A question that would seem obvious, but it's really not. And I'm going to ask for, we're going to have a Machio meter here. We're going to have a human living Machio meter. Mofo, would you come up here to be a Machio meter? Yeah, please welcome Mofo, the human Machio meter. Yes, yes. Now, because I truly love and honor each and every one of you, it is not up to me to judge whether your statements or replies to my questions are Machio. He'll take the blame. And if there is a level of Machio, how will you indicate it to us? Oh, okay. That's severe Machio. Okay. Mild Machio, what does that look like? Okay. Okay. Good. And how about just bordering, teetering on Machio? Okay, good. All right. Okay, excellent. And as you know, this is unrehearsed, totally unexpected, in the moment, and that's what makes it so special. So, yeah. Sure. Well, let's see that hand. Okay. Question is, take a good deep breath. Question is, why are you here? Are you here to make your human life a little bit better, or are you here for true transformation and enlightenment? And before you answer that question, Mr. Machio meter, right here, before you answer that question, consider also your thoughts and your actions. Not what you think you would like to believe, but what you are really doing in your life. Question once again, are you here at this stage in your life? Are you here at this gathering? Are you here on the planet for a better human life, or for true transformation and enlightenment? So we walk on very thin ground here, a very thin ice. And I ask the question for a good reason. Partly because Well, quite frankly, some of you have wondered whether you want to be here. You really wondered deeply. Some of you have gone so far as to say, oh, just take me at night when I'm sleeping, because that's a weird thing about death. You don't mind being taken at night while you're sleeping, you just don't want pain. Right? Yeah. So, and if we didn't have pain, this audience would be about half the size that it is right now. You just don't want the pain. It's like, oh God, I don't want to die like that. I don't want to die with the pens on my pants. And the degrading quality of human life, not being able to take care of your...
Pens? You mean diapers?
Yeah, not being able to take care of yourself. So you don't want that degradation. You don't want the pain. Otherwise, you'd probably have been out of here. Thinking to yourself, oh, I'll give it a try again. I'll just get a fresh restart. I'll come back. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. So the question once again, are you here for a better human life, or are you here for true transformation and enlightenment? Linda with the microphone. Mofo getting ready with the machiometer. We'll let them fully answer, and then I'll come back and ask you for...
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, this is the epitome of grand distraction. So all this other stuff is going on. You're so distracted with any of you who are going to get the microphone, you're actually allowing a lot of something to come in. Okay. Answer, please. And if you would stand up.
The first thing that came up was that in the movement on the path or the journey,
could we pause for a moment here? Let's get a reading right now. Yeah. Let's start all over. Simple answer.
In a way, I see them as the same thing.
Ah.
That's what I was getting to.
Okay. Yeah, you see them as the same thing. Okay, excellent. Now, don't look to me for validation, but
No,
that's a...
Yeah, and the first thing was just, I was just going to explain that a little more. But,
Sure.
But the bottom line is, I see them as the same thing.
Yeah. But could I share something with you? Like he's the bad guy, I'm not this time. You felt it at first, but then you were going to sidetrack. You do that in your life. You know that. You have wonderful feelings, but then you think about it and you process it, and then all the charisma goes out of it because you didn't stay with what you originally felt. Gotcha. Good, thank you. And how am I doing on my Machio? I love being an ascended master. Yeah. Good. Okay.
More?
More. We haven't even hardly started. Yes.
I am really, truly 100,000% ready.
For what?
For ascended mastery.
Oh, okay. Ascended, right.
To be enlightened. I'm ready. That's why I'm here.
And you die for it.
No, I don't want to die for it. I want to be here and do it. I mean, I'll die eventually, but I want to be here and do it as a human.
But let's say that it was you had to die for it. Would you?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Machio? Okay, good. Thank you.
I'd even be in a little bit of pain. I don't have to do it at night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next. Let's get some new ones here. Some, newbies, never been here before. Yes, sir.
For me, it's I fell into it as both, really.
Okay.
Kind of two sides of the same coin.
Right.
So,
Well, but which side of the coin comes up first?
up until recently, it's been more the enlightenment path, but now I'm really ready to have a full human experience as an enlightened being.
Okay.
And enjoy the abundance and the passion and the experience of the diversity of experiences that come along with being human that I couldn't have from the other side.
Okay. Machiometer? Yeah. I'm not going to agree with him on this. I think you're... I think he paid you off. I think that you really actually believe that, but your actions do not prove it. Not that I'm spying on you, but I'm feeling into it. You say that, and it sounds noble in a way. Matter of fact, you sound almost like a intellect, like in a past life you were a philosopher, kind of. But your actions in your everyday life right now don't show that.
So which way do you see it as going?
I'm thinking. I'm not. It's totally up to you. And maybe today is when it changes, possibly. And if you don't mind me sharing, I see a conflict because, on one hand, you have these noble, kind of profound. It's about enlightenment, but I'm going to enjoy life. It's like, no, actually, you're really caught up in almost survival. You're caught up in identity. You're really caught up in kind of who am I and how do I make myself even more unique to myself. You say you're doing it for other people. I'm just standing up, being unique amongst the masses. You're just trying to do it for yourself. So, yeah, a hard pill to swallow, but hey.
I think, I can see that. Yeah.
Good. And it's partly why you're here. But today could make a very, very big change in that. So, good.
Great.
Thank you. Excellent. And I appreciate you allowing me to be so candid. Thanks. You say of course, but very few actually really allow it.
Next.
Like they say, Adamus, tell me how special I am. After I talk about how special I am, then we'll talk about you. Next. Thank you. Yes. You act so surprised. You knew before you even came here today you were going to get the microphone. So please stand up. Yes. So what's it about?
I believe that it's about enlightenment and the transformation.
Okay. That's it.
That's it.
Okay. What leads you to believe that?
It's a deep feeling, a love within me that I can't let go of.
Okay. Can we go over to the human machiometer? And machiometer says, yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. And again, like the gentleman before you, I know you believe that. You believe that. But could I be really candid?
Say no.
Run.
Say no.
You say that, but why is there the tremendous conflict going on within you then? Why? Why do you feel you're being torn apart at times?
Sometimes I feel like I have to give up my family.
Yeah. Could I tell you, your family is an excuse. It's a distraction. You're using them in a way. And quite frankly, they're not blocking you. They're not. You believe that you've got this absolute dedication to your enlightenment, and it's been going on for many lifetimes. And you fight for your enlightenment in a way, but you also fight equally for non-enlightenment. And there's this tremendous conflict going on that you know is starting to affect you physically and mentally, but the physical is the one I'm worried about. I'm going to let it go today. I'm going to let all that conflict go. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So first thing is take a deep breath and stop just telling yourself that you're here for enlightenment. Stop faking yourself out. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen anyway. Okay? Good. Thank you. Next. Here for the human. You know, I'm going to tell you a secret here. when you try to block yourself, your energy, energetically, you try to put a blanket over yourself, you walk in that door, the blanket, in a way, comes off, so there is no hiding. Those who come here say, oh, I'm just going to really close my energy down. It's like, oh, Linda can detect that. So, your answer, sir.
Enlightenment, transformation, and then the sensual life.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Human Machio meter?
Yes.
Really? Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk. Okay, good. I had to adjust the... You know, sometimes the electronics and other measurement devices need a little fixing. It must be Mercury retrograde. How long do you think you've been on this spiritual path?
2009, August 15th.
I thought you were going to say 2,000 years, and I was going to say it's close, but not quite, a little bit longer than that. But when was that date?
August 15th, 2009.
2009, August 15th. Yeah, well, it's been a lot longer than that. And I'm going to be brutally honest. I love being brutally honest. How much longer? How much longer? I mean, what are you waiting for? Assuming there's no new information. Poof, I just took that away from all of you. There is nothing new. So you can't say, well, I've got to wait for this channel to come along that's going to put it all together. It's not. It's going to be the same old crap over and over every channel. And don't run out on me to another channeler. No. Because, you know, they're all telling the same old stuff, just different ways. So how much longer is it going to be?
Actually, it's all done. I mean,
Human Machio meter? You really? Really? Really?
He doesn't believe it, but he's speaking.
Oh! He doesn't believe it, but he's speaking the truth. Okay. Actually, I believe it. The only thing that I feel such the commitment and the passion and everything, but it just keeps going. It just keeps going and going and going. That's one of the reasons why you're here, is to be confronted with that, saying, there's nothing more. This is it. I mean, this is, time's not the right word, but this is the realization. You ready for it?
Yeah.
I hope so, because I'm trying to build my numbers up. I got 852. I told him I'm going to come back today. I might have 853, and it could be you. Yeah. One of the things about realizing your enlightenment is to also realize your Machio. It is. It's to realize the trash, the bullshit, the lies, the deception, the whitewashing right over the dirt and the grime, and say, I'm just going to throw a coat of good old #1 eggshell color Machio right over my crap. And recognize your Machio. Actually, it's a beautiful thing. Never be afraid of it, but recognize it. It's like, and then laugh at yourself. Oh my God, that was a bunch of BS. Yeah, and it feels so good to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
You could be 853.
Thank you.
Good. Next.
Thank
and
you.
Last. Thank you.
Another one?
Last one. So this is really good. What
Give him
is
shit.
it? Yeah. I dare you. Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely enlightenment,
Good.
freedom,
Yes. And
transformation,
Yeah.
integration,
good. And
joy.
when do you think this will occur?
It's happening.
It's happening. Okay, human Machiometer says.
I like her.
You know, he's so easily swayed by charisma and good looks. Maybe it wasn't the right one to pick. It's just so easily influenced. And you're sending him out little heart bubbles. I see it. I see it going to him. And how are we going to ever get anything done with the imbalance here in my own machine? So, thank you. Yeah, good job. Thank you. And thank you. So the question I pose, just for a little entertainment here today, an entertainment to just distract for a few moments so you could let that natural realization just kind of come into this reality, just to kind of absorb while we had a few laughs and a few tears. But the reality is that it is both. It is both. Or none at all. Or it doesn't matter. Or shut up, Adama. Stop asking these stupid questions. But we had fun, right? Yeah, good. Nothing holy and spiritual in the questions or the answers. It was just a time to smile. But my dear friends, it's both. It's this openness to the transformation that occurs. And I'm going to talk more about that in just a moment. But the transformation is absolutely brutal and thorough. Brutal in a way that sometimes you wished you had died in the middle of the night without pain. Brutal, it comes over every part of you. Enlightenment isn't about just having a little better human life, but enlightenment will get you a better human life. But you can't put the better human life first, but so many on the spiritual path actually do. So many who I've worked with in the past, in the mystery schools, ones who have been my students, and even the ones who have allowed their enlightenment, have said that it was all about the enlightenment. Have said that nothing mattered more than their enlightenment, but yet their everyday actions and their thoughts and their choices, probably choices being first, were not about enlightenment. They were about really just trying to have a little better human life. And this sets up a tremendous conflict, a huge conflict that each and every one of you are facing in your everyday lives. You say you want enlightenment. Most of you don't even know what enlightenment is. Not from up here, but you know it from in here. But you say you want enlightenment. But yet the day-to-day actions and choices are really about just a little better human life. You feel it so deeply, this thing called enlightenment, but you sell out so easily for this thing called a little better human life. Every one of you knows exactly what I'm talking about. Every one of you knows the contradiction that you live within. No doubt. Today we're here to let it be okay to have that contradiction. It's natural. No sense in trying to fight it anymore. Tell yourself that you're doing a bad job with this thing called enlightenment. Wonder where you're going to get the next new message that's going to put it all together. My dear friends, it's natural. This whole conflict between a better human life and true enlightenment, the whole conflict between what is happening for each and every one of you, a transformation of the truest and the deepest sense. It is happening. for every one of you here, watching online, watching later, no doubt about it. And also this tendency to sell out to a better human life. So today, one of the things I'm asking of each and every one of you is to be okay with that. To be absolutely, perfectly okay with that. This thing of enlightenment, as good as it sounds, is so brutal, so unforgiving in every way. The moment that you have the realization of your awakening, the moment that all that whole transformation and realization starts, it will go into every part of you, uncover every deception, every macchio, every limitation, every thing that is held in an unnatural state of consciousness. You're going to resist it. You're going to hold on to things. You're going to say that you're spiritual, think that you're spiritual, and it's going to come along and show you in the most brutal way that you're not. Because spiritual itself is one of the very things that will keep you from enlightenment. Absolutely. This thing of enlightenment, it doesn't define itself, it doesn't know itself as being brutal. It knows itself as being compassionate. It knows itself, this enlightenment, this realization, it knows itself of cleansing all that dirt and grease and tar and accumulated junk from your life. And there's that part of you that's going to try to hold on to it. That part of you that's going to try for a better human life. That part of you that at one point is saying, I want enlightenment, I'll die for enlightenment, but the other part is clinging on to an identity that is not real. Not real meaning that it's false. Not false, it's limited. It's not real because it's not the whole thing. It's not real when you're just trying to focus on happy spiritual times, on joy and peace to the world, because it's not the whole thing. The whole thing is also the agony and the profundity and the pain and the realization and the nothingness all at the same time. And the enlightenment, the I amness, this wave of, it's actually wave after wave of enlightenment that comes in, is going to keep coming in. It's going to keep in an unrelenting way until you are released from the limitations of consciousness. Yeah, well, you say that now, all right, but let me give an example with a story from my upcoming worldwide smash hit success, Memoirs of a Master, yet to be published, but in a very competitive race with Cauldre. So it will be a smash hit because these are stories about you. They're all based in truth, based on you, on the characters that you are. So let's tell a story. Let's have the audience lights down so you can sit back and relax, even feel free to fall asleep as you enjoy this story from Memoirs of a Master. Let's take a good deep breath together. The student lay in his bed after perhaps the worst period ever of his life. He had 21 days of unrelenting illness, mental chaos, confusion, hopelessness, and generally not knowing what to do, where he was. During these 21 days, he was totally alone by himself and for the most part not even able to feed himself. He was in such a state of chaos. It was like it started out with his physical body getting ill, thinking that he had perhaps a cold or flu, but none of the symptoms seemed to match. It was all confusion. He didn't want to go to a doctor because he knew from previous experience that very few who were in the healthcare industry really understood what was going on with one who is going through their awakening and into their enlightenment. So he laid in bed for these 21 days, never sure whether he was dreaming or awake, which one was real and which one wasn't. It was a horrific experience, having to face himself in the darkest and the worst ways that he could possibly imagine, all while his body was going through a state of great pain, oftentimes profuse sweating, oftentimes feeling so cold that no blankets or fires could relieve his deep, deep inner physical agony. It was the very, very worst of times, and there were times when he wished he was just taken, when he was just released from the physical body, times that he cussed and cursed the very fact that he had ever thought about awakening or ever pursued any spiritual interest whatsoever. For now, in these 21 days of great physical and mental agony, none of the words he had ever heard or read or been taught by any teachers made sense or could possibly fix the situation he was in. Patrick, the student who was laid in bed for this 21 days, was alone and miserable. At the end of the 21 days, he started to come out of this awful, awful darkness that he had been in, still unsure of who he was or what had taken place. He was filled with doubts, he was filled with uncertainty, and still with a lot of conflict. But he could feel that something had shifted in these 3 weeks, something had changed. Suddenly, the master appeared in front of him. Patrick, the student, thought for a moment, I really don't like this. The master just suddenly appearing. I didn't hear footsteps. He didn't knock at the door or announce himself. And in my state and condition, I don't even know if he's actually there physically or not. But another part of him was relieved that the master was there. There was some return to what you would call normalcy, some return to something he could identify with. The fact that the master was there meant he had either come through this very difficult period or he was dead. He said out loud, "Dear Master, I felt like I died. Did I?" The master took a deep breath and looked down at the bed where Patrick was laying, and for a moment felt a bit of sadness as he remembered his own very challenging and difficult times. Just like this, being totally ripped apart in every way, being lost and confused and feeling like he had been in his hell. The master looked down at Patrick and said, "No, my friend, you are not dead. You are very much alive. No, my friend Patrick, you could say that before this experience, before this is when you were truly dead. You were living in such limitation. You were living in a state of fear. You were living in a state of not realizing the true I am. And that to me is more dead than simply letting go of the physical body. But no, my dear friend Patrick, you have come through this and you are very, very much alive." Patrick took a deep breath and felt a great relief come over him, knowing that he was indeed still alive. He had endured these very difficult 21 days. Patrick said to the master, "Master, will this be the last time I ever experienced this unrelenting and punishing chaos in my body and my mind. The Master took a deep breath and said, Patrick, no, it's not the last time. Even a master, even an ascended master, will still go through periods like this. It's a cleansing. It's a releasing. Because when you are associated with the things of earth, when you are associated with yourself as a human and other human beings, you're always going to accumulate this grease and this tar and the dirt and the imbalances of the vibrational state. Because truly living in the human state, truly living in this place you call earth, is unnatural. It's an amazing experience, but it's not natural. And when you embed yourself and you embody yourself in it, you're always going to be picking up the imbalances, the dirt and the grease of life. So you will go through this, but the good thing is that in the future, you're going to go through it more as the observer. You won't be so intimately involved, and you won't feel that the question of whether you'll come through it. You'll already know that you're going to come through it. Yes, the body might get sick, and yes, there might be times the mind is confused. But as the observer, as the master, you'll realize that you've already come through it. There's no question about will it work out or not. That question is already answered. Yes, it did work out. Then it's just about allowing that very natural process to take place, that cleansing and that renewing. Patrick said to the Master, but isn't this something that I can do in another realm or another dimension? Why is it something that has to be here in this dimension and therefore so difficult? And the Master said back to Patrick, because you're accumulating it here. You're going through the experiences here. So it's not like you can take these off into another dimension to cleanse yourself. You have to do it from within. But again, remember, dear Patrick, that as you go through these experiences again in the future, that you're going to be the observer. See, here in what you just went through in these 21 days, you weren't the observer, you were, perhaps you would say, the victim. You were so deep into it that you couldn't see that you had already come through it. You were so into the experience of the pain and the doubt and the fear that you couldn't see that it was indeed just a time of rejuvenation and cleansing. Your doubts clouded your true thoughts, your true knowingness and your I am, to the point that you forgot about who you were and you forgot about your own I am, Patrick. And that will not happen again. Patrick took a deep breath of relief to know that he would never have to go through that level of doubt and anguish again. As he took a deep breath, he thought about his next question for the Master. He said to the Master, so who am I now? What will I be now that I've gone through this deepest, most unforgiving and relentless transformation? Who will I be now? And the Master thought for a moment, remembering back on his own time when he asked this very, very question. What's going to happen next? Now that the old identity has been totally pulverized, now that any connection with the old self has been totally disconnected, what happens next? The Master smiled, remembering when he, a long time ago, had asked this of his master. He took a deep breath and he said, Patrick, you tried so much to hold on to your old identity, in spite of saying that you were on the spiritual path, in spite of the fact that you said you were choosing enlightenment. Every time enlightenment came to you, or tried to come to you, every time true realization stood right in front of you, you kept on holding on to the old identity. The old identity was limited. The old identity was not what you would call asleep or unawakened. It was just highly limited. You tried so hard to make this old identity the thing that would be enlightened. You tried to make the old Patrick the enlightened being, rather than allowing all of you, all of the I am, to be the enlightened thing. You tried to call it enlightenment while so many times you were just trying to make life a little easier and a little better for Patrick. You were living in the greatest duality that a human can ever live within. The duality of saying on one hand that you wanted freedom and enlightenment and consciousness, while on the other hand doing everything you could to hang on to your limitations, your old identity, your singularity, your old self. Is it no wonder, Patrick, is it no wonder that these past few years of your life have been torturous in so many ways? Is it no wonder that you feel that you are being false to yourself in so many ways? Is it no wonder that you were constantly out of sync with yourself as well as the rest of the world in these past couple of years? Is it no wonder that your energy levels were low? Because your energy was going to the whole effort of trying to protect your old identity, protect it against the outside world, protect it against yourself, protect it against even enlightenment. Your energies were going to all the shields and the walls around you, all the games and the pretending. Therefore, you became exhausted and confused. For so many years now, you've lived in a state of great inner conflict, great battle with yourself, trying to do the right thing, trying to be spiritual, all at the same time, whether you realized it or not, trying to simply embellish your old identity, and it doesn't work. That's why you and others who have come before you have ended up just like this. 21 days, sometimes even longer, but of intense, unrelenting, brutalizing compassion. From here, Patrick, there is no more Patrick, unless you want there to be a Patrick. But you're not singular anymore. You're not limited to one expression or one identity. To begin with, you are nothing. You are, as they say in the ancient language, you are mu, nothing. You do not exist anymore. You've been crushed and torn out of existence. Nothing left. I could go so far as to say that we're not even going to use the word mu, meaning nothingness. Because the moment you even say mu, it becomes something. So you are nothingness. From this moment on, you are nothingness. But nothingness is like silence. Even in silence, it's not quiet. Nothingness is like anything you want to be, no longer attached to just being Patrick, no longer attached to just making a better life for yourself, and certainly never again attached to this thing called enlightenment or spirituality. That was as much of a part of a game for Patrick to fortify and to embellish your old identity as anything. The beauty and the grandness of it is that you did get enlightenment. Ultimately, it came. Ultimately, after all the brutalizing and all the demolishing of the old singularity, you did get it. You become everything in the nothingness. You no longer have to focus on Patrick. You no longer are singular. You are longer just living or just dead. You become all things. You are no longer masculine or feminine. The beauty of this nothingness is that it frees you to the true act of consciousness. In other words, dear former Patrick, anything that you choose henceforth, any consciousness that you choose, therefore can act out. You see, before, in this very limited state of Patrick, it wasn't an act. It was the only reality. You didn't view yourself as acting, you viewed yourself as just living. But when one finally allows their realization, it's like freeing your consciousness. And at that moment, you can act. You can be anything you want. You can be a magician, a magi. You can be a simpleton. You can be them together at the same time. You can be an embodied master, and you can be one who is totally unaware that there's anything beyond their field of vision. And you can be both at the same time. You can be abundant and non-abundant at the same time. The beauty is that you've freed yourself now to act in any way you want and to be conscious of it. You see, before you really weren't conscious, you weren't aware. Before, you were so singular that you were unaware of anything other than the survival of Patrick. Now that you are free of that, you can act and be anything that you want. It is truly the act of consciousness, awareness, expressed however you want. That, my dear Patrick, is freedom. That indeed is freedom. Imagine for a moment not being locked into a single definition of yourself. Imagine for a moment no longer being in this great conflict with yourself, but rather free to act, to apply consciousness to anything. Patrick took a deep breath and he said, "So am I enlightened now, dear Master? Am I enlightened?" The Master took a deep breath, smiled and said, "If you choose to be." So there ends my story, next story in my upcoming worldwide smash hit book, Memoirs of a Master. And it's your story. Whether you take it literally or figuratively, it's your story. Your story of going through this great internal battle with yourself. Telling yourself you're doing all this for your enlightenment, but basically trying to enlighten your Patrick, your singularity, your old identity. The beautiful thing about enlightenment is it's natural. It cannot be controlled even by your Patrick. It cannot be manipulated by that singular trying to make life a little better, Patrick. Your enlightenment isn't there because you thought you asked for it. Your enlightenment isn't there because you begged for it or because you're really sincere about it. It's there because it's who you really are. Your enlightenment isn't something that you can manipulate or manage, or you can pretend for a while that you're going to manipulate it, but my dear friends, it is unrelenting. It is brutal in its compassion. It will release you from your limitations. It will give you your freedom, no matter what it takes. No matter how many tormented nights, no matter how many diseases, no matter how many illnesses, bad relationships, or anything else. It's there in the compassion. Let's take a deep breath in this beautiful, beautiful moment. What to do? What to do with your Patrick? Realize that this enlightenment, this realization isn't just for that human, that limited human that came in the door today. That human that lied to me and to our human machiometer about what you really want and choose. The real answer to the question is, you don't know. And I say that with great love and honor. You don't know the answer to that question. Are you here to make your human self a little better or for your true enlightenment? You really don't know, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to know. It doesn't matter. The fact is that this realization back into your true nature, your true I amness, that's not Patrick, so far beyond Patrick, is going to happen anyway. Sooner or later to every human on earth. Much sooner to each and every one of you. What to do? Take a deep breath. Yeah. Take a deep breath and you relax into it. You allow it. You realize that even the dark days and nights, you realize even this torturous inner duality is there for a reason, not for a lesson, not to prove anything to your Patrick, but it's there in the greatest compassion of enlightenment, realization. Realization that you could say is already there. There's nothing new. There's nothing new. It's just now about allowing. I know maybe that's too simple. I know maybe that's too easy. But my dear friends, that's the way it is. You might go through your own version of the Patrick experience. Awful, awful. Just feeling like you're being torn apart. Wondering if you're going to survive it. I'll tell you right now that you will. Tell you right now, you can take a deep breath and be the observer of it. Stop trying to pretend it's not happening. Stop trying to whitewash it and cover it up. It's there for a reason. Stop wondering if you're doing it wrong. No, you're actually not. You're actually not at all. It's a cleansing. It's a releasing that's coming over you. It's helping you to realize that it's not the Patrick that's becoming enlightened. It's you, all of you. Now let's feel the energy in the room once again. Perhaps today we exposed, we opened up to some of this brutality, the chaos and the confusion, the imbalance of becoming balanced. In other words, not just trying to make the room pretty and putting some fairy dust on it, but saying, wow, this is real. I mean, it's happening. This whole thing of awareness and consciousness and getting out of my Patrick, my limitations, it's happening. All these hardships and aches and pains and everything else you've been going through, they're real and they're important. You can be the observer of them rather than having to get caught up with all the doubt. Let's take a good deep breath and feel into perhaps exposing some things that are very real. Exposing the challenges as well as the beauty. Let's take a good deep breath and feel into this whole thing called enlightenment. Certainly not what you thought it was going to be, and that's the good news. Let's take a good deep breath and feel how if you just relax and allow, you'll realize that all is well in all of your creation. Thank you, my dear friends. I am Adamus in such humble service to you. Thank you. Thank you.
You grow like the flowers, you cry like a river, I'll be on your side as long as you don't mind. I'd be home soon. Bring you heaven to see. If you ask me gently, feels like